My faith is rising and rising and rising and rising. I am not going down, but I'm going up and up and up. I'm not...
This is not your typical Sunday at Destiny Church in Auckland, New Zealand. Outside, there's a protest. Organizers are calling it a big gay disco protest. Elijah Michel says the reason for being here was deadly serious.
I think it was very important to make a stand publicly as to the damage that was done by Tamaki's sermon, and then his following comments. The fact that he spoke specifically against sexual orientation, related it to a natural disaster in a time when people are grieving loss.
God is regenerating your life. He gives it back to you.
The man accused of relating sexual orientation to a natural disaster?
Fly!
Bishop Brian Tamaki. According to media reports, this evangelical pastor blamed the Christchurch earthquake on sexual sin and specifically referenced gay marriage. In 2011, the earthquake in Christchurch, New Zealand killed 185 people. 80% of the city's downtown was destroyed beyond repair. But back in Auckland, not all the LGBT people are angry. In fact, one gay man considers Brian Tamaki a close friend and supports his right to say whatever he wants.
The people that subscribe to his church, they choose to go there willingly every week to hear what he has to say. And he, as well, equally, has the same right to preach the things that he's preaching from the Bible to them.
But Elijah is worried about anything that makes LGBT people feel shame and guilt. 5 months ago, he lost his close friend, Frank Smedley. He says Frank drank himself to death because he had such a hard time accepting he was gay.
Numerous suicide attempts and overdoses over the years leading up to when he passed in 2016. And the underlying factor every time was being unable to reconcile his faith with his sexuality.
So Elijah is working to make sure LGBT people, especially LGBT Christians, know that there's nothing wrong with being gay, bi, or transgender.
Smile and stand unafraid outside the building where those comments have come from, and be ourselves and be proud to be ourselves. Good afternoon, Elijah speaking.
Elijah Michel is a counselor working with LGBT people in Auckland, New Zealand.
I have a 15-year-old transgender female.
Nothing's gonna stop us now. Nothing's gonna stop us now. Nothing, 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 nothing.
He's worried about reports in the media. They claim Bishop Brian Tamaki blamed the Christchurch earthquake on the anti-Christ nature of the city, a place where gay marriage was first put into motion.
They've demolished all of that and moved it over to the other, where they've got a bit more space.
Dr. Kate Pedley is a geologist in Christchurch. She was in the city when the earthquake happened in 2011 and saw most of the downtown destroyed.
Around about 80% or over 80% of the buildings in the central business district were compromised, having to be demolished. And so you can see some of those buildings have yet to be demolished. They're doing it sort of in stages. There's a lot of construction going on here at the moment.
The earthquake caused widespread damage across all of Christchurch. 185 people were killed and thousands injured. Over 100,000 homes and businesses were damaged.
As you can see, this is our Christchurch Cathedral, and on the left-hand side over here you can see where the bell tower used to sit, the one that collapsed during the earthquake. And so what happened is two faults ruptured underneath Christchurch, and these were both thrust faults, and thrust faults have upwards movement, which is a lot more violent than the sideways movement ones.
The effects of the earthquake have lasted years.
And we spent 2 weeks without power, months without water. We had to go to the local school to collect our water from a big tanker, and 6 months without a toilet. Big hole in the backyard for a while.
Back in Auckland, Elijah Michel was dealing with his own problems. He was raised as a girl in the Anglican Church and learned early that being transgender was something to hide.
I was in Sunday school, and all I really remember from those days is being asked to play Mary in a Christmas play and saying no thank you because I wanted to play Joseph, but I didn't tell anybody that.
So Elijah kept his secret. As a teenager, he used drugs and alcohol to try and cope with the pain. At Bible camp, he thought maybe Jesus could help.
I was born again, and yeah, I can't remember if there were tongues or laying of hands in the Spirit. I don't remember much. There was a lot of drug and alcohol abuse going on at the time, and even at the camp, so didn't have my full wits about me, but yeah, surrendered my life.
Surrendering his life meant a life of depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts. At 38, still living as a woman, he told his evangelical church that he was gay. They rejected him.
The senior pastor was very close-minded about a lot of things. Bless him. I mean, he's indoctrinated. I don't blame him. But I don't think he's aware of the damage that he could have done. That's when my faith started. That's when I started having a crisis of faith, my first of many.
Despite the crisis of faith, Elijah still felt better about who he was. By age 45, he made another decision: to transition from female to male. He had a mastectomy and recently started taking testosterone.
The experience of waking up after surgery, you mean? Oh, best day of my life. That's without a doubt. If anyone was to ask me, that would be it. And now I'm, thrilled that my voice is finally deepening because I'm not getting called ma'am on the phone every so often when I ring up to order dinner. It's the little things in life.